The two biggest lies in our diet. It's just one drink and it's just fruit sugar. Something's changing us. It's a slow, invisible shift that is often mistaken for aging or stress. We wake up a little more bloated, our energy dips a little lower, and our brains feel a little foggier. The culprits? The same two substances we used to celebrate, relax, and find comfort? Alcohol and refined sugar. They aren't just empty calories, they are harsh killing machines, silently and systematically changing us in ways we don't realize until it's too late. We don't treat sugar and alcohol the same way. One is just a sweet treat, while the other is dangerous indulgence. But deep down, they're twins, both natural, both seductive, and both harsh killing machines. Our liver doesn't care if it's a martini or milkshake. The paradox is that both substances are natural in their original forms. Alcohol occurs naturally in fermented fruit, and sugar is found in every plant. However, modern technology has transformed them into hyper-concentrated toxins. We no longer sip mildly fermented berries. We consume distilled spirits that shock our systems. We don't eat whole apples for their sugar. We ingest concentrated syrups stripped of fiber and nutrients that are added to nearly every processed food imaginable. This constant high-dose exposure is the true modern-day poison. Alcohol wasn't invented in a lab, neither was sugar. Fermentation is as old as fruit falling from a tree and rotting in the sun. Honey has always been there, syrupy and irresistible. The problem isn't nature, it's scale. Once, these were rare pleasures. Now, they're industrialized, refined, concentrated, and delivered in doses our ancestors could never have imagined. What was once a rarity has become an everyday flood. Alcohol is the more honest of the two. We know it's a toxin because its effects are immediate. It slows our brain, impairs our judgment, and leaves us with a hangover. However, the real long-term damage is far more insidious. Your liver is a master factory with over 500 vital functions, but it is forced to drop everything to deal with this poison. It prioritizes processing alcohol, which can lead to fatty liver disease, scarring, and eventual failure. The damage isn't limited to the liver either. Alcohol is a neurotoxin that alters brain chemistry and shrinks brain volume over time. It can alter your personality, dull your memory, and erode your impulse control. Alcohol also puts a strain on your heart, leading to high blood pressure and other cardiovascular issues. The bloating and swelling we associate with a night of drinking aren't just water weight. They're signs of inflammation as your body fights to expel the toxin. While alcohol is the obvious culprit, refined sugar is the stealthy undercover agent. It offers a fleeting moment of pleasure, a sugar high, and then gets to work wreaking havoc on your metabolism. The constant influx of sugar into your bloodstream forces your pancreas to secrete insulin. Over time, your cells stop responding to this signal, which leads to insulin resistance. This is the direct road to type 2 diabetes. The damage it causes is strikingly similar to that caused by alcohol. Excess sugar is a primary driver of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, turning your liver into a fat storage unit. This is why doctors are now seeing the same liver damage in teetotalers as in chronic drinkers. Furthermore, sugar is a major source of chronic systemic inflammation, which is now understood to be at the root of heart disease, many cancers, and even Alzheimer's disease. Bloating isn't just a result of gas from gut bacteria. It's a sign of constant, low-grade inflammation. What's the scariest thing about both? You don't notice the damage at first. Alcohol gives you a buzz, and sugar gives you a dopamine spark. Both feel good in the moment. The crash comes later, months or years down the line. You can't feel your liver scarring. You can't feel your arteries hardening. By the time symptoms appear, your system is already collapsing. Perhaps the most dangerous thing about both substances is the delay. The initial buzz or sugar rush is immediate, but the real consequences, fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, and low-grade anxiety, creep in slowly. We learn to live with this lower baseline of health, blaming it on stress or simply getting older. By the time a doctor diagnoses a chronic illness such as diabetes, liver disease, or hypertension, years or even decades of silent damage have already occurred. By the time we realize what's happening, it may feel too late to clean up, but here's the most important part of the story. It's almost never too late. The human body is remarkably resilient. The liver can regenerate, insulin sensitivity can improve, and inflammation can recede once the toxic load is removed. The first and most critical step is not a radical change, but an awareness of the subtle yet profound damage that these substances are causing. The good news is that your body wants to heal. Cutting out alcohol gives the liver room to regenerate, and even cirrhosis can slow or stop. Reducing excess sugar restores insulin sensitivity, clears fat from the liver, and reduces inflammation. The hardest part is admitting that they're twins. Sugar isn't innocent just because it won't make you stumble home drunk. Alcohol isn't unique just because it comes in a bottle. They're just two sides of the same coin. We live in a culture that celebrates sugar and glamorizes alcohol. Both are packaged as pleasure, reward, and freedom. But take a step back and you'll see the truth. They're industrialized poisons that have been reshaped from nature into weapons, slowly turning our bodies into their battlefield. The choice isn't about purity, it's about survival.